Hi, welcome to our next level 2 algebra video. We're going to now introduce a thing called a quadratic formula. Now the quadratic formula is a formula used to find all, which there happen to be two solutions to a quadratic equation. So far we've taken quadratics that are equal to 0 and we've factorized them and then used the factored form to find our two solutions. Now that's a cool technique, and you still need to know that technique for many questions in level 2, level 3 and beyond. But now we're going to introduce a formula which finds the solutions to the quadratics without having to factorize it. It's called the quadratic formula. Here it is here. It looks quite yucky, but once you've mastered it by doing it 3 or 4 or 5, 10 times, you'll actually find it very simple to use. Right, it's got the values of a, which is the number that's been multiplied by the x squared, the coefficient of x squared. It's got the values of b, which is the number that's been multiplied by the x, the coefficient of x. And it's got the c, which is the constant, the number all by him or herself. Right, let's get into solving. I've got one example to show you in this video, and I'll take it pretty slow and carefully so you can master this formula. So we're going to find the solutions to the quadratic equation x squared plus 6x minus 18 equal to 0. If you tried to factorize it, by the way, you'd actually wouldn't be able to. It's very difficult to factorize this. Right, so here's the quadratic formula. Now the good news is the quadratic formula gets given to you in the exam on a formula sheet, so you don't have to remember it off by heart. Right, we have negative b plus or minus, we'll talk about what that plus minus means, the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, and it's all being divided by 2 times a. So we need to know the values of a, b and c. Now, a is the number that's by the x squared, the coefficient of x squared. In this example, it's 1. B is the number that's been multiplied by x. In this example, it's plus 6. And c is the number that's by itself, negative 18. Right, let's go. So here we go. X is equal to negative b. Well, b is positive 6, so we have to make it a negative 6. We put down the plus minus. We put down our square root. Now we're going to go b squared, which is 6 squared. Now we're going to go minus 4 times a is 1, times c is negative 18. And we're going to divide that all by 2 times 1. Now, let's have a look inside the square root. The 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 18. Let's grab my calculator and go 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 18. That gives me 108. So we're going to simplify this down to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 108, because everything inside the square root makes 108, all divided by 2 times 1, which is just 2. Right, what do we do next? Well, now we're going to write down our two solutions. Here they are. I'm calling them x1 and x2 as my two solutions. Now the first solution is where I'm going to do a plus. My second solution, I'm going to change the plus into a minus. So that's what the plus and minus means. I do the whole thing once with a plus, and then I do the whole thing again with a minus. Right, when I punch in the first number on my calculator, please use brackets around the top and go bracket negative 6 plus the square root of 108. Then I can close my brackets and divide it all by 2. And I get my number of 2.196, which I've rounded to 4 significant figures. When I do my second solution, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, apart from changing the plus in the middle to a minus. So I'm going to go bracket negative 6 minus square root 108, close brackets, divide by 2, and I get my second solution of negative 8.196. So here's my two solutions to the quadratic. Notice it would be very difficult to factorize it because they're yucky decimals. Now, whenever you get a quadratic that gives you two solutions like this, we're going to call it two real solutions. And we'll talk more about this in the next couple of videos. All right, good luck. Go away and practice it.